Alright everybody, we're back again. We're going to do some reaction videos to gym and fridge videos from Men's Health. Basically the idea is that these videos go through, what jacked people eat, how they train, and, especially celebrities, and you get a sense of, maybe how you can do that for yourself. However, I suspect there's going to be a lot of silly stuff because these are celebrities, these are not professionals, so we'll see what happens.
Alan Richardson, it's Men's Health. Open the door. We've been searching for you for days.
Men's Health. You found my humble cabin in the woods. All right.
I gotta be honest though, Alan Richardson looks great, no problems there. He's also tall, as I understand, so he's got a lot going for him.
Let's go check out the gym and fridge.
Oh, fake weights.
All right, show us what's in that fridge. Sorry.
Dropping that action movie voice. Let's see that fridge.
So this is my kitchen. This is my fridge.
Kitchen? Normal kitchen?
About what we're gonna find in here. Oh, not bad. I think my wife did some cleaning. Because it doesn't usually look like this. There's no pizza leftovers in here, so my wife must have known you guys were coming and cleaned out the pizza, because there's always pizza in the fridge. These are my wife's protein drinks. These are only 30 grams of protein in these. The weak sauce, I'll show you some better ones later. So we always have eggs. I've always got a lot of eggs. That is my go-to breakfast.
Wait, sorry, what's wrong with 30 grams of protein? You could just drink 2 if you want. No one's stopping you.
So we've got, we got a couple dozen here, cage-free. We're polite to the chickens. Don't look at the no-baked cookie dough from a local bakery. I don't stick spoons in that all day long. We do have a lot of cut fruit. We've got 3 boys in the house. They love to dive into fruit all the time, and I've got one kid who's like a fruit bat, and it's all he eats. So he and I are just in there munching away. And from what I've been told, you can't have too much fruit, so I think it's a safe one. So don't mind the cheese dogs. Once again, I have 3 boys, so I can blame the kids on the cheese dogs, but I do love hot dogs. A little mustard, onion. If you can find some chili, great. I didn't say that, okay? Just cut that. People are gonna eat after they see this, because I eat whatever the hell I want, and I'm not kidding.
How many meals do you eat in a day?
I eat...
He's probably not kidding. I cannot emphasize enough how building muscle mass at the end of the day is you eat the right amount of calories, you eat enough protein, you got great genetics, willing to take a little bit of the juice if you're willing to. That's about 90% of it, right? It's really not about food quality as much as, people tend to think. I'll be honest, looking at his fridge, perfectly normal. Don't know why he's acting so afraid of admitting that he eats pizza or cookie dough or hot dogs or whatever. We all do it. Nothing going on there.
Here's my lunch. This is what I do for lunch. I'm gonna show you what I do. Let me open this guy. This is a fresh one. But they put the price tag right over the zipper.
Didn't expect Jack Reacher to struggle with the deli cheese.
Here, I'll open it like this. Okay.
I do want to kind of explain something that's kind of interesting about being jacked, right? Which is that people automatically assume that you are, good at opening bottles or jars or ripping bags or, whatever. And there's a really classic video from a while back. It was at some sports stadium where there's a guy, gets a water bottle from the vendor or whatever, and he's really jacked looking guy, and he's trying to open the water bottle and just failing, and he's being caught on the the stadium cam, and everyone's making fun of him, and there was a great image from that where it's this guy, this big beefy guy trying to open the bottle. And so the reality is that there's an interesting factor where basically your body only engages muscle mass when it has to. If you're just going to go, pick up something off the desk, the body is not going to be hey, you need to engage every ounce of muscle in your body to do that. It knows you don't. And so instead, it's basically just going to activate a minimal amount of muscle so that you don't waste energy. You pick up the thing and it's fine. This is why you don't see things like, a bodybuilder, tries to open a door and just, explodes the door or something like that, because your body is already, downcycling those things. And then it only then activates that muscle when it finds that it has an appropriate challenge. So that's to say that, if I go to pick up a weight and it turns out to be easy, my body's like, okay, that's fine. It's easy. You didn't have to activate that much muscle. Great. But if I go to pick up a weight and it's heavy, then the body goes, oh, okay. Now you need to activate the muscle. And so it progressively activates more and more muscle until either you lift the weight or until it activates all the muscle that it can and realizes, okay, I can't lift this weight. We're going to give it up. And so, that's why, very often the issue is not that, you're not strong enough to, do something like that. It's that it's an awkward movement where you can't really get, you can't really get set into it. You can't really get started. You can't really push your body to start activating all that muscle. And especially when it's something that maybe you can't get a good grip on, your body's like, well, I can't even hold on to this. Why am I trying to activate muscle if I know that I can't, do anything with it? It's the same principle why when you can't hold on to a deadlift, basically you just end up dropping it, even though you kind of know that you could probably lift it all the way up before you have to drop it. Your body's like, no, I'm not going to activate all that muscle because I know you're going to drop it anyway, so there's no point in doing it, and you actually just struggle to lift it in the first place. And that's why very often, you do something like you add some straps, you add some grip chalk or something like that, something you can, easily deadlift a weight that, a minute before you were struggling because you just couldn't hold on to it grip strength wise. And so it's the same with a lot of these things like, opening a water bottle, opening a bag, etc. It's not that, you don't have that muscle mass, it's that it's an awkward movement pattern where you can't really get a good grip on things. You don't have the right leverage, you don't have the right positioning, so your body just can't activate the muscle mass to actually do things. That's why, sadly, training at the gym does not immediately make you better at, opening pickle jars all the time or whatever. You can obviously train to be good at opening pickle jars. You could train to be somebody who does, odd lifts and, tears phone books and all, that sort of stuff. You can get a lot more, practiced in those movements, and that is something you can get better at. But of course, it's like, do I want, if I'm going to, rip a phone book, do I want the bodybuilder who has the most muscle mass in the world, or do I want the strongman who's probably half his size, but has been practicing ripping phone books for a year? I absolutely want that strongman. That's how it works. You want somebody who is practiced in that movement, because that's what matters more than the amount of muscle mass that you have, is again just your practice in that movement, your ability to actually engage that muscle that you have. So
you take some cheese, I take 2 pieces of Swiss. You don't want to overdo it. You're not eating a cheese taco, you're eating a meat cheese taco. You take some turkey, you do one little, you don't want to overdo it, so just one little plop or 2. There we go. One little stripe of mustard. The cheese is the bread. So you got your little flavor in the middle.
That's
you got your protein.
Man, that's real, college kid. That's college kid meals, man. How old are you? Whew.
And you got your meat and cheese taco. I could eat 50 of these. Do you guys want one? Dude, they're the best.
What do you have for dinner?
Dinner.
That's the secret, though, man. That's why I don't look like him. It's the meat and cheese taco. He's got it. He's got the juice. In this case, the juice is not steroids. It's meat and cheese tacos. This man has solved it.
It's good. This is my wife's lovely homemade turkey meatloaf. Very lean, tons of protein. Sometimes we'll have some mashed potatoes in it if I need a little carbs. And then we have some greens, like salad or green beans.
Is it hard to stick with your diet when you're on set?
When I'm on set, it's super easy to maintain what I eat. In fact, I eat the healthiest when I'm on set because I have somebody cooking for me.
How has your diet changed over the years?
My diet changes depending on where I'm at in my jobs. Like Reacher, I play Reacher. Reacher's got to be big so I can bulk. I call it bulking constantly, so I just eat whatever I want. And I do work out 5 days a week, so I think I can get away with a lot of it. If I'm not playing Reacher, which is, the other half of the year, I can't be so big, usually. I limit the carbs. I try to cut back on the sugar because I eat cookies every day. Cookie dough every day, our secret. But yeah, I try to limit the carbs and the cheese. So if I do that, I'm good. I can get away.
I feel like he's been standing there with his fridge open for a very long time.
You know, it was a different.
Come on, just you don't have to keep. Just close the fridge.
Spam was huge. But I would
Don't
open
let
up
your
a
food
can
go
of
bad.
spam and we'd slice it up. We'd saute it in a pan and throw it on a sandwich with like processed American cheese. You know, just peel the plastic off. That and a little mustard on white bread. It doesn't get more all-American than a white bread mustard cheese spam sandwich. But that was my childhood.
What would we never
Nice.
see in your fridge?
Anything vegan? Vegan people are like, it's almost like a real cookie. And you're like, no, why do you have to compare it? I'll just have the real cookie. I'm not judging you if you're vegan, but I ain't eating it. You know what I'm saying?
What's your go-to protein?
I like the 40 grams, the muscle milk.
What's your snack strategy?
I'm sorry, earlier he was like, this protein shake, 30 grams. Protein shake for babies. My protein shake, 40 grams. That's for adults. Only 33% more, but that's the difference. That's the difference. Again, you could have just drank 2 of the smaller ones. I don't know what the deal is there.
The country, not the bird. I'm glad you asked. Cerezas. The snacks are kind of the hardest thing for me. So I do like a lot of cottage cheese. I do a lot of yogurt. I also do a lot of string cheese. I have the worst diet. People, nutritionists around the world their heads are falling off right now.
What's your go-to comfort food?
I was given for my birthday recently 8 pounds of raw cookie dough. I ate all of it. Where does it go? I don't know where it goes.
You drink coffee?
This is my coffee.
You know exactly where it goes, my man. You work out 5 days a week. What are you talking about?
Anyway, speaking of eating crap and needing to work it off, we should go hit the gym. Let's go now.
All right. So now the first half of the video is done, and I guess I can assess his whole diet at this point. So what I'll say is, yeah, sure, is what it is. Like, he's not necessarily got the healthiest diet, let's be honest. A lot of processed meats on their own are not great for you. That includes stuff like the hot dogs. That includes stuff like the lunch meats that he's eating. You know, like, generally not associated positively with health outcomes. The other stuff, you know, enjoying some sweets, enjoying some cookie dough, enjoying some pizza, yeah, that's fine. And the fact that he does have a good understanding that, like, he doesn't need to be super hardcore about his diet all the time. He can be a little bit more hardcore about it when he has to, you know, lean down for a particular role or whatever. I think that's a healthy approach. He's definitely on to something there. He's got the right mindset. He's got the right, you know, just dietary philosophy there. However, I will say this man definitely eats like a college kid who never learned how to cook food. I think that, you know, especially with his protein sources, leaves a little bit desired in terms of, you know, like, God, I don't know. Like, I can walk to my grocery store. They sell, like, cooked chicken breast, pre-cooked, sliced up. That's going to be way healthier for you than the lunch meat. And it's going to, I mean, you know, taste-wise, it's about the same, right? You can do the same thing. You can put it on a sandwich. You can roll it up in a slice of cheese, you know, whatever. You can do all that. So, you know, like, I think there could be a little bit of a shift to leaner protein sources. There could be a little bit more focus on food quality, sure. But overall, I'd give him a B, B+, maybe. Solid.
Going down where Reacher was built.
Okay, so this is my home gym. Well, I'm on the road all the time, so my favorite piece in here is this cage, because of the cables. Cables are something that you find the least in hotels. So for me, anytime I'm in here, I'm on these. It usually makes up the bulk of my workout.
How often do you work out?
That's wild.
I work out 5 days a week. If I need to skip a day and hit a Saturday, I do, but I try to keep it Monday through Friday so I can have time to recover. I don't spend a ton of time in the gym, 20, 30 minutes tops. Less wear and tear on the body, leaves you feeling good.
What's your favorite body part to train?
Okay, so he's already saying he trains 5 days a week, but he only trains about a half hour at a time. That's actually only about 2.5 hours total, and that's pretty solid, honestly. That's pretty similar to what I'd recommend. If you're going to be training more frequently, you should probably be doing shorter workouts, and he's definitely got something there. Personally, I train a bit more than that. I train something like 4 hours a week. But then again, I'm just a little different, is what it is.
Definitely not the legs. A lot of what I do is like aesthetic. You know, I picture it's got to look big.
Skips leg day, man.
And large, so you know a lot of stuff is upper body, upper arms, upper chest. But my favorite is the pectoralis major. It's actually a little tiny muscle. It's a little strip of muscle up here. But if you want to like have that beach body, you want to fill out your t-shirt, you got to get your arms above your head. You know, so something like this, where you're bringing your arms up and pressing that upper chest together. You're gonna start to fill out.
What's your favorite exercise?
Probably the incline bench. I'll come down here.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I'll throw 225 on there, slide the bench under, and you know, you develop the the delts, the upper chest. Just leaves you feeling good.
What exercise do you hate?
Well, I can't even do squats. I can't do squats. Every single time I do squats, I pinch something in my back, so I can't load from the top. So if I want to do legs, I've got to be pulling, or I've got to have my back.
Sorry, this is real weird to have this little message on screen that's like, cable squats and goblet squats are still squats. Well, yeah, they are, but like this man is saying he's not doing squats. Plenty of stuff that you can do that's not squats to train your legs. Plenty of amazing options. You can do leg presses. You can do all kinds of variations. You can do lunges. I highly doubt that he just can't squat. We'll see.
What was the process like to become Reacher?
Man, that was the first time in my life that I had a studio executive call and tell me I had to be a certain weight. I want to throw you out of a helicopter. So I built a gym in my house and started using weights really primarily for the first time. Up until that point, my basic workout was push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and sit-ups. Anywhere there was like monkey bars, I would run there. I would do 4 sets of 25.
Yeah, of course bodyweight moves can build muscle. Very silly tagline there.
How did the rapid bulking affect your body?
I kind of went from 0 to 100. Putting on that much weight that fast isn't natural or healthy, I think. I ended up breaking a joint in my shoulder. I had a shoulder surgery. One thing I learned, for me, when you're working out that often, was going from targeted exercises where it's like, today's my bicep and tricep day, is I would do full body exercises every day, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit of legs, a little bit of arms.
For most people, full body is going to be much, much better than, doing really strict body part splits. You're going to get better results. Just better.
What do you consider an intense workout?
What I consider an intense workout is when I hit a full body day as hard as I can. That's going to include lunges, split squats, leg extensions.
So he's doing other leg
so that'll be the
workouts.
lower half.
What keeps you motivated to stay fit?
I stay motivated because my job depends on it. Not everybody has that kind of motivation, so I understand how difficult it can be for...
He's 100% correct about that too. A lot of people are willing to overlook people are just in shape because they like doing it or because they've got willpower or whatever. Very often that's not the case. Very often they have very powerful psychological motivators that could be social. So this could be community-based. This could be family and friends who push you. This could be things like, you do sports in school and you really want to be better for your team members. And this could be monetary things. You want to be good at sport because it's a career. Or you want to look good because it gets you film roles. There are a lot of people for whom, you might think that they are super disciplined or whatever, but they're not. They just have, it's like, I say this all the time. It's like when you have a job and the job is to be up at 6 a.m., you're going to get up at 6 a.m. because your life depends on it, because you need to keep doing that in order to keep getting paid, in order to keep, staying alive. Assuming, of course, you want to keep that job and you don't have another job lined up. And so it's the same thing with working out like this, right? He needs to keep working out. He's going to show up and do it even on those days where he doesn't feel like it. You don't have to be super high willpower. You don't have to be in love with the game to keep doing it. You can just be somebody who's got, decent genetics and really strong motivators for continuing. I mean, all right, now that we're done with his workouts as well, not really a very complete picture of what's going on. I think very silly looking little Smith machine, cable machine setup he's got here. Not great equipment. You don't need great equipment to get good results, certainly. You don't need any equipment to get good results. You can do a lot of stuff with just body weight. And aside from that, we don't really get a very good idea of his routine. I think he's very good about being honest with himself. When he says, hey, a lot of this is just me training to look good. A lot of it is just really focused on the upper body because that's what that's the kind of look I need to have. And so, yeah, he probably skips a bunch of leg days. It does sound like he does do some leg work from what he was saying later on. I would probably say, hey, man, ideally, yes, you should be training your lower body a bit more, having a more well-balanced physique. But again, he knows what he's training for. He's not necessarily training for any kind of competition. He's trained to look good. He's trained to have movie roles, and his training definitely suits that need, right? I'd say it definitely sounds like he's doing a lot of, vague bro science, stuff. Who knows? Like, it sounds like his training routine is not super well set. It's very, I don't want to say random, but he's just kind of doing stuff based on feel, which is also something that you can do. You're not necessarily going to get world-class results from that, but a lot of people can get away with it, especially if you've got great genetics or, again, willing to take a little bit of juice and, can't fault him for doing what works for him, right? So at the end of the day, I'm going to probably give him a B on his workouts as well. Very similar to his diet. He is not super heavy focused on it. He's not super well knowledgeable, but he doesn't need to be. He's got things down well enough for his purposes, for his needs, and that's great for him. That said, not everybody can train like that. Not everybody can get away with, being so junky with the diet. Not everybody can get away with, being less controlled on the workouts. So, is this a model to follow for everybody? Certainly not. You'll probably want to do something a little bit more advanced, more focused, more knowledgeable in your own training. However, I do have to give him, as a result, overall, a B. Solid work, solid diet, not too much to complain about. So that is all for today's video. As always, don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below, let me know what you would like to see in future videos. Smash the notification bell. Do all that other stuff that you do when you like a video. I will talk to you all next week. Have a good one.